Worthy one, do you feel so overwhelmed that you're having a hard time making changes in your life? You know the things that you want to go after, the things you want to accomplish, but the thought of doing them are stressing you so much that you feel so much overwhelmed that it's holding you back, and that's why you're not going after your dreams. What's up, it's Gene, this word to be great. If you can relate to everything I just said, in this video, I want to talk to you about how to overcome overwhelm. And I'm going to give you 7 ways that you can free yourself. Now, overwhelm is something that we bring on ourselves. When we think too much about the things we want to accomplish and we stress ourselves out, we feel ourselves chained by overwhelm. Now, the first thing you can do to break that chain is you have to control what you can control. When I was growing up in the hood and I had a dream when I was 16 years old that I wanted to make it out, I felt so much overwhelmed because I said to myself, how am I going to get out the hood? I want to go out to college. I want to play college basketball. No college coaches know about me, how I'm going to get their attention. And the more I thought about all these different things that were outside of my control, the more I felt stressed out. But then I started to bring it back and I start to focus on the things that I could control. So I said to myself, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to bring a college coach towards me, but I do know this. When that bell rings at 3:30 after school, I can control running a mile every day. I can control shooting jump shots. I can control lifting weights. I can control sending out letters. These were things that were in my control, and that is what I focus on every day. And because I focused on those small things, I wasn't as stressed out. I wasn't feeling overwhelmed, and eventually I got my opportunity to play college basketball, and it only happened because I had prepared myself. See, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to control all these things outside of yourself. But if you focus on the things that you can control, it will help to bring down your stress level, and you can start seeing a clear path on small things you can do to start working towards the thing you want. 2, stop saying no to you. One of the things that can cause so much overwhelm in your life is when you stressed out because you saying yes to everybody else's agenda and you saying no to yourself. I remember years ago, one of my cancer patients I was rehabbing invited me to go to her church. And when I went there, the pastor of the church asked me, would I come to his church and do a aerobic program for his entire congregation? Now, I knew that wasn't possible. I wouldn't be able to do that for legal reasons. I wouldn't be able to do that because it'd been a far drive. And not only that, they wanted me to do it for free. So I looked at the pastor. I said, I won't be able to do that. But instead of him, accepting no when it was he and I talking, he decided to go up in front of his congregation and tell them that I had agreed that I would come to that church and do a aerobic program. Now, I had to make a decision. Am I going to say no to me? Am I going to get up there in front of all these people and say yes to this man's agenda? Or I'm going to say no because I'll be saying yes to myself and the agenda that I have for my life. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. When he asked me to come up to the front of the church and speak, I felt all this pressure. I felt all this stress. I felt this overwhelm. But when I got up there, I was honest with them. I say, listen, I told your pastor I cannot do the aerobic program. It is no. And let me tell you something. By getting up there and saying no to that man's agenda and saying yes to myself, it helped me to relieve that stress. And if you're having a hard time being chained to your overwhelm, it's because you keep saying yes to others and you saying no to you. You have to reverse that. Do not be afraid to be proud of saying yes to yourself, because when you say yes to you and no to other people's agenda, it will help to bring down your stress level because you don't have to feel like you have to do things and make other people proud. 3, don't try to fight every battle. Now, you're going to have people in life that are going to insult you. They're going to do things to make you mad. And you're going to feel like you have to fight the battle. But in a lot of situations, it's better just to let things go. I remember when I was in the corporate world, myself and another lady had applied for a management position. And I ended up getting a position. Even though she was older than me, she had more experience than me. And the reason I got it is because I was a better communicator than her. Well, she wanted to let me know she didn't like it. So any time she tried to insult me. She tried to belittle me. And I would let it get to me at first. But then I realized the more I try to fight these battles, the stronger I made her seem and the weaker I made myself seem. So what I made up my mind to do is focus on what was important, to lead the team, to stop focusing on the things she said. And because I stopped trying to fight every battle, it got rid of all that stress in my life. I no longer felt overwhelmed, and I was able to lead the team with confidence. See, you're probably trying to fight every battle. Somebody saying something negative about you, you allow them to stress you. And the more you allow this stress to build up in your body, it's going to take over your mind. And that's going to lead to you feeling overwhelmed. But if you make up your mind that you're not going to try to fight every battle, that's going to help you to overcome that feeling of overwhelm. Listen, I know overwhelm is very hard to overcome. It's very tough to not be stressed out when you're trying to build the life you want. That's why I want to encourage you to get my premium ebook, Worded to Be Great. This book will help you develop the mindset, the self-discipline, and the self-confidence so you can get that overwhelm out your life and start building the life you truly want. So click the link below and get my premium ebook today. 4. Take small actions with your goals. Have you ever set a goal for yourself and you was extremely excited, but you made it so big that the goal itself stressed you out? I remember when I was working with this lady and she was trying to lose weight, and she was like, Gene, I want to be able to lose 20 pounds. I said, okay. So when she started telling me what she was trying to do, she said, for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to the gym for 3 hours a day. I'm going to lose all this weight. And I said to her, you're going to fail at that, because going in the gym 3 hours a day when you've been sedentary for about 10 years is not going to work out for you. What's going to happen is you're going to go in the gym excited off emotion for about a week or so. And because you spend so much time there trying to be too intense, you're going to eventually give up. Now, she didn't believe me, so that's exactly what she did. She went there 2-3 hours a day for about a week, and guess what? She stopped working out because she was overwhelmed. She was stressed out. And so what I said to her is instead of you focusing on 3 hours a day, let's focus on this. You just go to the gym and walk for 5 minutes a day. And she said, Gene, that's not going to do anything. I said, just trust me. Go into the gym for at least 2 weeks and just walk 5 minutes a day on the treadmill. So she took my word for it. She decided to do it. So she went there for 2 weeks. She worked 5 minutes a day. And what happened is she started building momentum towards her goal. She started building momentum as she did those small walks. And that led to her being able to go to the gym eventually for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 3 days out the week with consistency, because she started taking small actions. And if you have a goal that you want to accomplish and you feel overwhelmed, you're stressed out about the goal, it's probably because you set the goal so big and you don't have small steps you can take that's going to allow you to move slowly towards that goal. So if you want to break those chains of overwhelm and stop stressing yourself out about that goal, I want to encourage you to start taking small actions on a consistent basis, and that will help you to overcome your overwhelm. 5, turn off all notifications. One thing I noticed about social media apps is that if you have your notifications on, when you hear that little noise or you see that red little notification button, it just makes you want to check them out. Now, I had those on my phone for a long time, and I'll be honest with you, it used to stress me out because I used to feel like I had to check this app and that app. I had to respond to this person and that person, and that made me feel overwhelmed. So what I decided to do is get rid of all my social media apps. The only one I keep on there is my YouTube. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Blue Sky. I don't have Twitter, X. I don't have any of those apps. And what's had allowed me to do is to get back in control of my life. I don't have something that is always hijacking my attention. And a lot of you all out there are overwhelmed because you're stressed out by those notifications. Anytime you hear noise, anytime you see a little red dot, you feel that you have to go over and check your phone. But if you want to eliminate some of that stress in your life so you don't feel overwhelmed by giving other people your attention, I want to encourage you to either get rid of those social media apps or turn off all notifications. 6, don't let negative people stress you out. You're going to always meet negative, toxic people. And these individuals, they're not happy about their life. So they're always trying to find the flaws in other people. They're always trying to belittle or tear other people down. And if you let these negative, bitter people stress you out, what's going to happen is it's going to affect your mindset, and you're going to be so overwhelmed with their negativity that you won't be able to focus. I remember when I was working on this job and I had this extremely negative coworker. She always criticized me when I was reading books. She was always criticizing me because I was trying to strive to get more productivity than I needed to. And she used to always say to me, Gene, why you work so hard? Why you feel like you have to do more than everybody else? Why you always read those books? And no matter what I told her, she was always negative. Now, when I was giving that lady my attention, what was happening is it was stressing me out. I was feeling overwhelmed with her negativity, and so it was keeping me from doing the things that I want to do, read my books, do the productivity that I wanted. But what I realized over time is that I was allowing this negative person to have too much influence in my life. So you know what I did? I started ignoring her. When she was over there making her comments, her insults, criticizing, I just acted like she didn't even exist. And if you want to get somewhere in life, if you don't want people to start to overwhelm you with their negativity, you have to realize that people are going to be negative. They're going to say things to you. They're going to criticize you. And the reason they're doing that is because they see your potential. They see your greatness, and they envy it so much that they want to do everything they can to pollute you with their negativity so you don't reach your potential. So I want to encourage you to focus your mind on the things you want to accomplish. Do not allow negative people to cause you to be stressed out. 7, don't be afraid to put yourself first. When I was in college, I was a studious individual, and I used to sit in my classes all the time in the front row, and I would take good notes. And I remember one of my college teammates, he never came to class because he felt if I just stay close to Gene, when he get home, he would just give me his notes. And I used to do that month after month. I would go take these really good notes and I would go give them to my teammate. And what I realized over time is that I am doing the work for him. Not only that, it was taken away from my study time, because if I go to give him my notes, that will take away time that I can use to study, and it will start to really stress me out. So one day I said to myself, I said, Gene, you're not responsible for his notes. You go to class every day. He never goes to class. Stop giving him your notes. And when he asked me one day for my notes, I said to him, I said, no, man, if you want notes, you need to come to class. He was like, oh, man, you tripping. I said, well, I'm going to just be tripping. I am not giving you my notes anymore. If you want to pass the test, if you want to pass the quizzes, if you want to pass the class, you have to start coming to class and take your own notes. You see, at that moment, what I did is I put myself first, and I wasn't afraid of it anymore. I didn't feel any shame of it. I told myself, if I want to be the best student that I could be, I have to put myself first. I need to take my notes, study for my test, get the highest grade I could. And because of that, that's exactly what happened. And see, a lot of you guys, you are afraid to put yourself first. You let other people tell you you need to do this. You're trying to please people. But if you put yourself first, then you put yourself in the best position to reach your full potential. So do not be afraid to put yourself first. And once you do, you'll realize that your stress and your overwhelm will start to disappear. These are the 7 ways that you can free yourself from overwhelm. And I want to encourage you to apply them to your life. So make up your mind today. You're no longer going to let overwhelm dominate your life, because you are worthy to be great. If you like this video, I want to ask you to like and share this video. Also, hit that bell so anytime I post a new video, you're notified. I also want to ask you to join my Word to Be Great newsletter. This newsletter is designed to help you build your self-worth, your self-discipline, your self-confidence so you can achieve your dreams. So click the link below and join my newsletter today.